the sword of the spirit, which is the word of Yahweh Hashem Shah. That's the weaponry. It's being likened like the helmet that someone would wear on a battlefield. If you would think about them 300 dudes, it's being likened to a helmet like that, but it's the helmet of salvation. The spirit is being likened, to a sword that you will swing at an enemy, but it's being in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, as it says, which is the word of the Most High. In verse 16, taking the shield of faith, not a carnal shield, or these days you will have like a bulletproof vest. Believe that the Lord is all those things for you. Matthew 25:14. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, and to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. So the talents, spiritual gifts that are distributed or to be worked on, like how a smith is used so a sword won't become dull. The gifts that we've been given from our master, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right, you have to master those weapons. Going back to why the nunchucks were distributed, because I believe it's Donatello, was like a goofy, but he had to focus and hone in on it. The talent, that he was given. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same and made them other 5 talents. That's somebody who honed in on the weapon. So he became stronger and multiplied. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained another 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with him. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained besides them 5 more. Right. So the gift, the talents that he was given, he multiplied them. He honed in on what the Lord had given him. His Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. So you've been faithful over a few things. Now I can entrust you with more things. What I've given you, you've, speaking for what the Lord gave him, what I've given you, you've multiplied it, cherished it, multiplied it, worked on it, honed in on it. You grew. And the Lord was pleased with that. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 talents beside them. So he multiplied as well. Why? Because they was disciplined by what they was given. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. lo, there thou hast is thine. So he didn't do nothing with it. His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sow not and gather where I have not sowed. Wicked and slothful. Slothful being synonymous with lazy. There's no discipline in laziness. There's nothing you can do slothfully and reap anything other than failure. It says, thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchanges, and then at my own coming I should have received my own. I have received my own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it to him which have 10 talents. For unto everyone that have, shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that have not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So the Lord got rid of that, got rid of that servant because he had no discipline. You know, Matthew 6:24, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon. All right. And usually, not usually, but when people pick the other master, all right, which is money, all right, worldly pleasures and all of that, it's because they don't want to be disciplined. They don't want to go through the hardship of the Lord's tutelage. Like I said, it's a breaking period. So serving Esau, all right, the power of this world, is easier. You can do whatever you want, according to a damn Edomite. You can be whoever you want sexually, as it pertains to changing genders or, fulfilling your lust sexually with whatever you want, basically. You know, you're not held to any standard. So, like going back to the Kill Bill movie, I can't remember the other chick name, but Padme ended up snatching her eye out her head because she was just a wicked and slothful servant. She didn't want to learn. So when these people, choose to worship another master, which is Esau, it's simply because that discipline is too much for them. Being under the tutelage of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and receiving this discipline as it gets hard, and you may stumble and fall. You may be out of breath. All the weakness that come with this, body, man. But even when you hit that point, someone who really wants to receive that discipline and the fruits thereof, you just gonna dig deeper within yourself to try to achieve it. Or, just reject discipline altogether and go back, to wherever you came from in this world. Proverbs 12:1, whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge. He that hateth reproof is brutish, like a beast. Like they say, there's a term, brute beast, like a stubborn ass animal. But like I said, even when those who really, like, whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, who really want the latter end of the discipline, which we know as a kingdom, you're gonna dig deep within yourself to, defeat that weakness within and defeat the weakness of the flesh. And it's a process, but your sincerity is gonna shine through in the form of perseverance. Proverbs 25:28, he that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. That's a part of the discipline, learning to control your spirit. Because, when you keep bringing up the breaking point or the turbulence along the way, all right, you got to rule over yourself enough to keep going and believe in the discipline that you receive. Because, you may not be in, while you in the situation, you may not be able to see the end. But if you trust in the discipline, you'll trust in the process of receiving, the kingdom of heaven and everything that comes along with it. Job 5:17, behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Therefore, despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. And that chastening, was a part, learning the discipline. All right. So like being challenged, being chastening is a part of learning the discipline. Just like a child, you don't spare the rod on them. And after a while, they're gonna get tired of getting hit. So, all right, let me, that's how the discipline comes forth. For he maketh sore and bindeth up, he woundeth, and his hands make whole. So yeah, the Most High, for you to receive the discipline, yeah, he beat on you. I myself, as well as, anybody that may be watching it can talk about the chastening of the Lord. Some situations may be more extreme than others, but maybe your actions were more extreme. So you received a more extreme chastening. That's the Lord, making you sore. For he maketh sore and bindeth up, he woundeth. But it also says his hand maketh whole. He gonna heal you too. Once you stop bucking and stop trying to do things your way. Once you submit to the discipline. Hebrews 12:1. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous. Don't nobody like getting beat on. It's a term, glutton for punishment. You got to be a fool to keep going against your Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, and he's just whooping you. That's why 2/3 in the predicament then. As it's saying in Isaiah, why should you be stricken anymore? You got to the point where the Lord, you just tired of whooping you. I'll just destroy y'all. Because they're not going to submit to the discipline that it takes. But if you sincerely want to receive mercy, you're going to submit to it. Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward, it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. So if you submit to the discipline, it's going to bring forth righteousness. And if you don't, it's going to bring forth death and destruction. Like the scriptures speak of the condition of the battle. It's always going to be a fight within. Paul spoke about this as well. His spirit warring with your flesh. But you're going to keep warring if you want it. If you want, the reward of staying disciplined to the best of your ability. I'm not speaking on perfection because that's unattainable, at least in these bodies. Proverbs 15:31, the ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, but he that heareth reproof gathereth understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. So even going back to the Kill Bill movie, that was a level of humility that she showed. King David, that was a level of humility he showed before Saul, which ultimately, led, to him being honorable. As well, even though it's a fictional movie talking about Kill Bill, she, had a form of honor, if you will. She defeated her enemies. And the only way that, she did that, and the only way that we will do that is, to remain disciplined, unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua and unto those who are put in position, to lead us. But I ain't gonna hold you. I hope that video was edifying. Shalom.